Bloomberg Audio Studios. Podcasts, radio, news.
The Stock Movers Report, your roundup of companies making moves in the stock market, harnessing the power of Bloomberg data.
Let's take a look at some stocks on the move today. I'm Tim Stanovic along with Carol Masser. We're joined by Bloomberg News equities reporter Carmen Reinecke. I like that you bring us so many stocks, Carmen.
Well, it's just what I'm watching all day. I've got a lot to say about them.
Okay, let's start with ticker WST.
Yeah, WST. This is one I was actually not super familiar with. It's West Pharmaceutical Services. It was up 23% today. This is a record jump, the most since 1980. Huge jump after earnings. Basically, its earnings came in better than expected. But in part, and this is what I thought was the most interesting, in part because it's getting a boost from GLP-1s. GLP-1 demand. I believe it makes packaging in syringes, actually. So that was really interesting. It seemed like analysts thought that this quarter really showed that they can, do better in the second half of the year. Had a big boost to their net sales outlook. So that was the best performer on the S&P today.
Yeah, it's definitely not something we talk about, too. It popped up on my kind of gainers list that I was keeping an eye on. So was it the number one gainer or?
Yeah, that's what I saw on my list. And
the S&P, yeah.
It's a stock I've never heard of or don't really know very well. You always have to look into it.
All right. Something that we know a lot about, and that is ticker is CMG. It's Chipotle.
Yeah, Chipotle. So we talked about it in post last night. It actually ended up being the worst day for the stock since 2017. So a big slump. It was down 13% today. It's its annual outlook. They cut it for the second time this year. They said that they just don't see sales going very well. Haven't been able to offset a sort of slump in traffic, sort of no matter what they do. And it really signals that potentially, there is some consumer pullback. They're not going out to eat maybe quite as much, or if so, they're not, picking Chipotle. So big hit to the stock there.
I just want to remind everybody what was happening in Chipotle history back in 2017. Carol Masser, I'm going to give you one guess what happened that year.
Oh, isn't that when they started having the problems?
The E. coli issues. Yeah. So when you say a worst day for Chipotle going back to 2017, that is extremely meaningful.
It's great perspective. I got to say, I'm kind of scratching my head over this. I mean, Chipotle isn't super, super expensive, right? They kind of have been credited with creating fast casual. But I find it interesting that if they're seeing consumers cut back, feels like that's pretty significant. Yeah?
Yeah, I think so too.
I don't know.
It also could have been norovirus was the issue too. There were a couple different issues, so I don't want to conflate them, but
it was the beginning of a really rough period for this company.
A really rough period. Yeah. There was 2015 outbreak of E. coli, 2016 outbreak of E. coli, and then some norovirus stuff too.
Yeah. So it just kind of was like one thing after another. We digress because we're kind of obsessed with this company and we like to talk about it. LUV.
Yeah, so Southwest Airlines, also another earnings mover. We have a few earnings mover, but this one I thought was interesting. So it was down 11% today. This is only the worst drop since 2024, so about a year. It expects that it will have as much as $1 billion wiped off of its annual pre-tax profit this year, and they also reduced their outlook for the rest of 2025. This is when they're saying, the economic backdrop is not great for airlines. People are not traveling as much, or I think it's mostly people are not coming to the U.S. quite as much. I think domestic travel has been okay, but that's really impacting all of the airlines, and Southwest definitely. They also, they're going to start charging for luggage. I just know there's a lot going on with Southwest that people are.
Stop.
Yeah.
Just right. What did you say? Make it free to check.
Free to check your bag.
And charge to carry on.
Yeah.
Just saying.
The Stock Movers Report from Bloomberg Radio. Check back with us throughout the day for the latest roundup of companies making news on Wall Street. And for the latest market-moving headlines, listen to Bloomberg Radio live. Catch us on YouTube, Bloomberg.com, and on Apple CarPlay and Android Auto with the Bloomberg Business app.